Whether or not you're new to astrology or have been studying this for over 15 years, the thing that we can all agree on is that astrology is a magical practice. And it's not a science, as much as we like to think it is a science. Sure, it's precise and accurate, and it shows us the correlations between celestial bodies and earthly events. In that way, we can kind of view it as very scientific. However, astrology is a divination practice. This is a magical pursuit, one in which we are in divine connection, communion with the planets, the cosmos, these wandering stars, almost as if they're providing these angelic, godly messages. And as astrologers and astrology enthusiasts, we are simply translators of the information, the written information that they are sending to us. Now, let's be real. A lot of us, when we first get into astrology, we think that Mars is making us angry. We think that Saturn, our Saturn return, is making things hard for us. No, it's not making anything happen. The planets are not causing us to feel any certain way or causing an event or a horrible experience to happen. No, astrology is simply a mirror, a reflection of that which is, of which we are already feeling, of which we were already experiencing, the events that are already happening in our lives. Astrology and the written language in the stars is simply information that we have the ability to choose whether or not we want to read it and work with that information. Is it used for predictive purposes? Yes. Astrology is inherently predictive in nature, and it's what it's always been used for. Astrology, since 1st century BC, the Hellenistic period, the Mesopotamians, we have always used astrology as a way to forecast farming and agricultural purposes. We've always used astrology to predict the downfalls of a king or perhaps a civilization, the people. Astrology has always been used for predictions. And anyone who is just getting into the pop astrology world, is on threads and Twitter and Reddit and talking about astrology, that has not been studying the past and how we've used astrology for hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years. For those that are new to astrology and just learned about the pop astrology, the TikTok version of astrology, the Cosmo Girl version of astrology, thanks 1950s for making horoscopic astrology and simplifying it to the extreme that now people in the modern age only see astrology as one way, which is horoscopes. Nope, there's way more to it. There's way more to it. But a lot of these people don't know that astrology has been around for so long, that people have been looking to the stars for guidance and information since the beginning. And we have been using the traditional planets, the inner planets that are visible with the naked eye, we have used them to understand what is happening in the world. And it wasn't until the modern age, the 1950s and later, that we started using it as a psychological practice, an evolutionary practice, a spiritual practice, understanding who we are and our personality and our talents and our gifts and what we came here to do. That is a modern way of seeing astrology. And I, as an astrologer, use both. I use the traditions, the predictive element, and I use it to enhance our lives on a personal level. If you feel called to explore astrology, it is because there is a reason for it. You're meant to learn. Be curious about this written language. You are meant to become a translator. You are destined to decode the language of astrology. Astrology is a foreign language. It's a foreign language, but every foreign language is easily learned through practice, repetition, and study. And as an astrologer, who I've been studying astrology since 2011, I didn't get really serious and committed to my practice until 2020. My whole life I've gotten astrologers. When I was born as a little baby, I was born in this world, and my mom had her astrologer make a packet for me when I was literally just birthed into this world. When I was in high school, I was obsessed with asking people their birth information so I could pull up their charts in English Lit class. When I was in my early 20s, late teens, living in New York City, I would go on dates and ask people what their birth information was. I even asked my husband. I took him to the Strand bookstore and was like, give me your birth data. Let's understand who you are. I have always inherently known the value of astrology. And if you're someone like me and you have felt the call and you've learned it, and for some of you even, it might have come easily to you. It might have been like a talent, a gift that you've already always had. Maybe you started learning astrology again and it came back. It came back quickly and easily and effortlessly, like it did me. I've been studying astrology for many, many years. But for some reason, it's always been the thing that's clicked more than anything else, more than any other pursuit or hobby or interest. Photography, theater, human design, numerology, all of it. There's nothing that's come more naturally to me than astrology. And I believe it's in part because I've learned this lifetimes ago. I've studied this lifetimes ago. This is not my first rodeo. This is not my first time doing this work. I have taught this as a teacher before. Whether or not you believe in past lives, I personally do believe in past lives. Everyone's different. But I believe that our souls, maybe not our ego or this human body or the identity that we attach ourselves to, but the soul of us is recycled. The soul of us moves through new versions of self. And for me, I've always felt like astrology is something I've done before. I've taught this before. I literally was birthed into this world knowing how to do certain things. I was birthed into this world loving to perform in public. I'd be 3-4 years old and I would find a saxophone player playing in Balboa Park, San Diego, and I would go up to him and start dancing, and people would think that we were a father-daughter pair or that we were working together and I was dancing to make money for my dad. Like, I have always naturally had certain gifts since I was born. And for me, what astrology has taught me with my birth chart is that the gifts and talents that I have, they're written there. They're written in the chart. Those planets, those actors that are performing as characters in scenes of a play that are in your birth chart, it's all written. The natal promise of you, what you came here to do, who you came here to be, and what you will become. Astrology is a mirror reflecting that which is. It's like that idea I always talk about of the clock on the wall is not making it 4 p.m. It's rather signaling that it already is 4 p.m. That's what astrology is. It shows us our life story, our natal promise, who we came here to be, and what will happen. And those planets in your chart, yes, they represent you personality-wise, psychologically-wise, yes. The modern interpretation, yes. And it also signals the events and important themes that will happen at some point in our lives when they are triggered and activated by a transit or progression. Your birth chart is the book of you. It is the story of you. And when you learn aspects, the configurations between planets, when you learn the details, the depths of lots and houses and configurations, when you learn how to put a chart together, planetary rulers and blending multiple parts of a story, when you learn to decode the language, you connect with your soul. And this is a magical, divine practice. We are working with something angelic and something magical. This is remembrance. This is soul remembrance. This is soul awakening. This is the natal promise of you. And for those of you that feel the call to learn this with greater depth and connection and remembrance and soul connection, I'm teaching this live. I'm teaching how to read charts in depth live for 5+ weeks. If you want to join in on our classes, get lifetime access, forever updates, join our study group sessions, and see in real time what I'm looking at when I first look at a chart for the very first time. See how I think, how I translate, how I look at a chart step by step and break it down for you. If you're ready to learn this and get access to all the video recordings, the slides, the workbooks, the meditations, and the live class calls, check out the link in the description. The link in the description will take you to my Natal Promise course, which is now open. If you're ready to get started and you want to learn the language of the cosmos in greater depth, I'm here to support you on your journey. Check out the link in the description if your heart and your intuition feels like it's an aligned 100% yes. If you feel excited, if you feel inspired, if you feel curious to learn this language for yourself, a lifelong skill that you can use to read any chart, whether it's a horary chart, an electional chart, a synastry composite chart. Learn to read charts in depth. I'm here to support you every step of the way. Astrology has become even more of a magical practice for me with Jupiter in Cancer. Whether it has been finding astrological magic and connecting with talismans every other day, praying to the planets and developing my relationship with them in a greater way, learning meditation and breathwork and Tibetan Buddhism and chanting and going deeper into my spiritual pursuits and practices. This year, Jupiter in Cancer has been incredible. And with the North Node and Saturn and Neptune and Pisces finishing this off at the 29th degree, what an incredible time it is to be an astrologer, to be teaching astrology, to be imparting the wisdom that the cosmos are always giving us. So if you too have felt the call to go deeper in your spiritual or astrological pursuits, what a beautiful time right now it is to study this. Have a wonderful, magical rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hello from Amsterdam.
From Brooklyn, New York.
From beautiful Ubud, Bali.
From San Diego.
I am in Iceland right now.
Shanghai.
I'm in Paris at the moment. I am here on my Jupiter descendant line in Tallinn, Estonia. Hello from Biarritz in France.